Welcome to Murad Learners Academy, the place where people come to learn. Learners, in today's video, we will learn how to write a research proposal. If you are a beginner, if you want to learn how to write a research proposal, or if you are confused how to start to write a proper research proposal, then this video is for you. So watch this video till end. Let's start this informative video, how to write research proposal. First, I will share with you the title page of research proposal. Here is title page of research proposal. First comes your topic name, which is your title. Search title comes here. Then your university logo. Then submitted by, which is your name and roll number. Then supervised by, where you write your supervisor name and his designation. Then you write submitted to, can be your R&D department, MBA, MPhil department, any related department. Then comes our title, research proposal report. Then you write your university name and then you write your year in which you are writing this report. So next comes the undertaking of thesis completion form. One thing I like to tell you that this is synopsis initial pages. You can get these pages from your university R&D department or your related department, or you can also download this from your university's official website. But here I am showing you this as an example to give you an idea how initial pages look like of a research proposal. So here is the first page, undertaking of thesis completion. This is a form which is filled by student. As you can see, there are all details: name, class, roll number, and student signature, and they are given some penalties and some rules if they don't submit their research proposal on time. Then comes supervisor form, which is filled by your supervisor. As you can see, its name, thesis title, student name, name of student, roll number, class, and supervisor signature, supervisor name, email, and mobile number of your supervisor is written here. Then comes the most important part, table of contents. First, I will show you some parts of table of contents. Table content includes your abstract, chapter 1, introduction, background, etc. Chapter 2, which is your literature review. Then chapter 3, which is proposed methodology. You are writing your research proposal. Then I will like to show an example of proper table of contents. Here is one example of table of contents in front of you. As you can see, it's a full-fledged table of contents. Your table of contents should look like this. If you are writing your synopsis, then your table of contents should contain first 3 chapters till methodology. Then comes to the first part of your research proposal, which is abstract, or we can call it summary. Abstract is basically summary of your research proposal. It's written, keep one thing in your mind: when you are writing your abstract, you will write it in future tense, that you will be using this method, you will be studying this. And one more thing, more important thing, that it's written when you have completed your chapter 1 till your references. So in simple words, you start writing abstract at the end of your report, but it comes at the first of your report. I repeat, it's the first section of your report, but you start writing it once you have completed your chapter 1 and chapter 3 of your research proposal. Now I will share with you some format of this abstract. Let's see, first comes the summary. It's a summary, as I told you. It should be around 200 to 250 words. It should be one paragraph, which should be of 200 to 250 words. In your abstract, you should write the purpose of your study, the aim of your study. Then write about your variables, which are your independent variables. Are using independent variable, or if you are using any mediator or moderator, you should also mention them in your abstract. Then comes your proposed methodology, which you will be using in your research proposal. Then comes the keywords. In keywords, you will write about your variable's name and the sector you are studying, and other important keywords you are using in your research proposal. Then comes chapter 1 of your research proposal. It is introduction. In introduction, you write background of your study, background related to your variables, related to your topic which you are studying. And it should be one more important thing, it should not include any para heading except background of your study. This should be your first heading, and then you will start writing your background in paragraph form. It should be between 3 to 6 paragraphs, and it should be 2 to 3 pages limit. Then comes the second heading of your introduction, research gap. Research gap is your problem which you identify from your base paper. You have to read your articles related to your area of interest, which you can easily select from Web of Science, which is a search engine for impact factor journals. So read articles from there, identify their gaps, their weaknesses, limitations, and start writing a gap analysis. You can also find gap analysis from literature of your base paper as well. It should be 1 to 2 pages. Then comes your problem statement. You should write your problem in a statement form. It should be 1 paragraph or more, maximum 1 page. Then comes the scope of your study, in which you write about your variables, the parameters you are studying. Then comes the significance of your study, why your study is important. In this section you write about why your study is important to number 1, managers, organizations, research academics, government, and etc. These factors you have to cover and tell why your current study is important for them, why your study will be giving them benefit, what benefit your study will give to these 4 elements which I just mentioned. So I hope it's clear to you. Next comes chapter 2, literature review. In literature review you write your general literature, then you write about your variables. One thing, you can start it from independent variable or from a dependent variable. It's totally on you. So you have to write your variables one by one. Then you write about your mediator you have. Then comes your model, which is based on your literature review. Then you write your hypothesis statements. It depends on you how many number of hypotheses you can write. For example, in the model there are 4 variables A, B, C, D. So its hypothesis will be only 3, like this. A is impact on D, B is impact on D, C is impact on D. So there will be 3. It's just an example. So when you will write your hypothesis, it will depend on your model, how many variables you are studying, and can vary. It can be 3 hypo statements, can be 6, can be 12, but it depends totally on your variables. Next comes proposed methodology. It should be in future tense. How future tense? I will give an example. In this study, I will be let me correct myself. In present study, descriptive study will be used. This is a proper example to write your proposed methodology in future tense. So it should be 2 to 3 pages. And now we take the contents which it should include. First comes your study design. You should tell your type of study which you are using. It can be descriptive, explorative, explanative, casual, can be any of them. But it depends on your nature of your research, your objectives. If you are still confused how to select type of your study, number 1, read your base paper, or number 2, read any research methodology from any research book. It will help you a lot to give logical answers, and will also help you in justifying why you have selected particular type of study. Then comes sampling. In sampling, you have to write first your sampling technique which you are using. Again, it depends on your study type and nature of your study. Again, I will repeat same thing. You can select sampling method from your base paper, or you can read any research book, research methodology. Go to the book, read the sampling chapter only. You will be absolutely clear about sampling techniques, sampling methods, population, and sample size. Then comes your data collection. You should be very, very careful. You should be very, very sure about the data technique you are about to use. If you are using secondary, then use secondary. If you are using primary, then you are using primary. It depends on you. Again, you can take help from your base paper, and it depends totally on your study, what are you studying. Let me explain some secondary data. Contains websites, boards, online database, government agencies, etc. Primary data includes your face-to-face interviews, employee survey questionnaires, customer survey questionnaires, and etc. And primary data also includes you have to describe, in this primary section, you have to describe your questionnaire parts and sections, how many they include. Then you have to write scales, which you are using 5 liquid or 7 liquid, and then give logical proper reason. If you are unable to give proper logical reason or justification, then read any of your base paper or read any data collection chapter of your research book, or from any book you can read. Then comes your research instruments for secondary. This is a table which you can use. I will explain with you example which will clear you. Here is example of secondary research instrument table. For example, your variable is profitability. You will write here its ratio which you have selected, and then evidence which is citation. This shows you have picked this ratio, picked this measurement, picked this variable from this particular article. Same goes for independent variables as well. Now I will show you some instruments for primary data. If you are doing primary study, then your research instrument table should look like this. Your dependent variable will come here, then your source, your citation, and number of items. Number of items is your questions in your research questionnaire, your scales which you are using for your data collection, which you will be using for your data collection. Next comes data analysis. There are some common methods used for data analysis, which are reliability, descriptive, frequency, correlation, multi-regression. Again, I will say you can take help from your supervisor, from your base paper, and it depends on the nature of your study and which data analysis techniques you will be using. These first 4 are very common. And one more thing, multi-regression is used when you have more than one independent variable. If you have one independent variable, then you use simple regression. And then same goes for mediation tools and moderation tools. If you have moderator and moderation, then you will use these tools. Moderation tools and mediation tools. There are more than 8 to 10 tools. Again, I will recommend you to read any research book if you have, or you can easily search from internet. You can find the tools, how many tools are there for mediation and moderation, and you can use which is related to your research model. Okay? You can use that mediation or moderation tool which suits your research model and your study. Then comes your data analysis software which you will be using. There are so many research software, so you should be particularly careful which software you will be using for data analysis purposes for you in your thesis or in your research. Some popular data analysis softwares are SPSS, SAT, eViews, and so on. Then comes your work plan, very important. In work plan you have to make a table. Here you write your activities, like for example introduction, how much time you will take. For example duration, in under duration you will write the weeks. For example for your introduction you can write 2 weeks or 1 week. It totally depends on you. Then comes your literature, how much time you will take to complete your literature. Just take example of 4 weeks. Then your data collection, how much time you will take to collect data collection. For example 6 weeks. Data entry and analysis part 2 weeks. First draft of your research proposal 1 week. Then final draft of your research proposal 1 week. So by like this you can make a perfect work plan of your research and for your research thesis. Remember that you are writing your research proposal. So in work plan you will not only write about your research proposal, you will write about your start of your research till end, how you will write your thesis, and how you will submit your thesis chapter wise or part wise or activity wise, just as I mentioned in this video, or you can see in this table. You will not write about your research proposal activities here. It is not related. In your research proposal work plan you will mention work plan of your thesis, how you will be completing your thesis. So here you will tell about activities and duration according to them. So moving here, then comes the most important part, references. You should be particularly careful and you should be sure which reference style you will be using. For here I am telling you to use APA 6 guidelines, but it again depends on your university. Just as I told you initial pages part, that it varies from university to university. Some universities use APA, some use MLA, some use Harvard, some use Chicago, etc. So you should be careful about which reference style you will use. And now question arises, how you will know and which APA style to be used. You can take help from your university. from university's official website, from your supervisor, from your teachers. So here's an example of how a proper references look like. See, author name, then comes year, title, then the journal where it's published, then volume and its pages. This is how a proper references look like. And moving ahead to the next part, which is last part of your research proposal, it's appendix. In appendix you write number 1 your research question. In such question you write your title, then you write your cover letter in which you write your name, your topic and why you're doing the study. Then comes your name and roll number. Then you write your first section, which is demographics. In demographics part you write the demographic factors, because you have to collect data of your respondents. So in demographics you will collect data of your respondents: age, gender, marital status, qualification, income, job status, working experience, and there's so many demographic factors and variables which you should include to know about your respondents. Next comes your variable part. You have to write your first variable here and mention the scale which you are using. Here I am using 5 Likert scale, which is starting from strongly disagree and going till strongly agree. You can also start it from strongly agree and go till strongly disagree, but again it depends on your base paper or from which paper you are selecting your scales. You should be particular sure about that, what scales in that base paper or study has been used. You can easily know scales and question is from that paper by reading in research methodology, go to its data collection, then go to research instruments and then go to its scale section. You will get each and everything from there. If that paper is good, if that paper is selected from impact factor journal number 2, then you will be able to get proper information about how to select the scale and methodology. Then comes the most important part, the writing format. Let me zoom it for you. This is a proper universal writing format. How you should write a research proposal. Should be 12 time Romans, and you can see all main headings you can select from over here, and margins you can select from here, paragraphs. Then text alignment you can select from here as well and from here. So that was the last part. I hope you liked and learned how to write a research proposal. If you learned from my video, then like my video and subscribe my video for more such useful topics and informative topics. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching Murad Academy.